always coming back just on Tuesday to give you just a little. So what I want you to do is, because I'm doing this to make sure it benefits you, for you to understand some of the spiritual and physical things that we have around us, that is pertaining to nature, which links to the spiritual side of it. The spiritual side of nature, which is the majority, about the 95%, which we always put a blind eyes on them. When you are able to be awaken the self awareness in you, you will be able to overcome these difficulties that comes alongside these spiritual issues and physical issues that we come in contact with. So if today is your first time of watching, please like, you share, and you subscribe, and click the alert button so that anytime, or bell, anytime that we come online, you will be able to get the alerts and join us. So from today, please put it on your calendar. Every day, from Monday to Friday, between 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., will come your way with the English version of whatever we treated the previous day. Okay, we'll bring you the English version. So if those of you who are not Ghanaians, or you are Ghanaians but you don't understand the language I use, I'm using the English language so that most of you will have in-depth understanding of what I'm trying to explain, or what the lectures I'm giving you. We shouldn't be confined to just one particular section. All of you should be able to, yes, benefit from. Not all of you are Africans, but some of you have no idea of some of these things that I'm talking about. So you need to pay attention to them, and then bring in your comments as you watch these lectures. And those that you don't understand, will give you questions, we'll give you the answers as we go along. So today we are looking at if you are born between 21st of March to 20th April. If you are born between 21st of March to 20th April, this is a lecture that you don't have to mix, because it is going to tell you more about your characteristics, the kind of animal that is your symbol, your stone, your birth stone, the qualities that lies within you. It is going to tell you all. So first of all, remember we have 4 elements, and out of these elements is where we are picking the first one. Okay, according to the astrological calendar, we are picking the first month in the astrological calendar, which starts from 21st of March to 20th of April. From 21st of March to 20th of April. So we are going to look at this. We are looking at this first month and what it carries, what kind of planet rules it. We'll look at all that. Is it cardinal? What is it? We'll look at all those angles, and then we'll understand it. So first of all, we have 4 elements. We have fire, we have water, we have air, and then we have earth. Okay, these 4 elements, the first one that we are taking is fire. The first element is fire. That is what we are taking. And then we will dissect it for you to know whatever parts that you don't understand, know how it was able to fix to get that fire element that we are talking about. So first of all, if you are born between the month of 21st of March to 20th of April, this is a lecture that you don't have to mix. And if you are someone who has been learning from what I've been teaching always, then I will recommend that you take your pen and your paper to jot down some points, since it will go a long way to help you. Now, from all these elements, we are starting with fire. As I said earlier on, we are starting with fire. When we are done with fire, we'll go to water. Okay, we'll take it each step by according to how it is. So when we take fire, we'll go in and out of fire to understand everything that lies within fire, so that it will help us to be able to gain our knowledge in terms of the zodiac knowledge. When we talk about this fire, okay, we'll know where we stand within this fire. Now, before we go to the lectures, let me give you the definition when it comes to the astrological meaning of fire. Fire is the energy of transformation and action and it's day energy. Okay, fire is the energy of transformation and action, and it's a day energy. So every day energy is inhale. So fire is inhale. You inhale this, the heat in you, okay, to give you energy. So plants and mammals, we all depend on this heat to survive. As we inhale life, so the heat that you are inhaling is life. As we inhale life, we draw breath to gain energy by expanding our lungs in that process. So as you are inhaling this heat in you, what it does is the heat expands your lungs, and as the lungs are expanding, it helps you to grow. Okay, that is the process. Fire starts the process of growing. So if you are dealing with fire, you have to know that you are dealing with something that grows. So if you see a logo that has fire within it, it tells you how powerful that company or that thing is. For instance, you may see a tanker going and then they've given you the fire sign. It means that the content of that tank is very flammable. If you're not careful and you light the matches, it will catch fire. So it's a sign that warning you that don't light any matches, because what is in there is fire itself. All it needs is to locate a naked fire and then it will catch fire. Locate a naked fire, okay, and then the flame itself will start expanding. And I've seen a lot of people dying as a result of a naked fire getting close to a tanker, a petrol tanker or a gas tanker, and it's escalated into fire. So we should be aware of that. And that kind of expansion or the rapid explosion of that fire represents the growth in mankind. Okay, it represents the growth in mankind. When you compare it to how we grow, it tells you as you are inhaling this fire in you, it is expanding your lungs, and as your lungs are expanding, all the other organs are also expanding. So it means your level of your level keeps on increasing if you are inhaling this fire in you. So each and every one of us needs to inhale this fire to be able to enlarge our lungs. Okay, and it is called life. It is called life, which we need to breathe it to gain energy. Okay, to expand these lungs that we have. And out of these lungs, if without the lungs, there's no way you can survive. So you need to have it in mind. Fire itself has signs and planets. Okay, the fire has signs and planets, and we'll look at all those signs and planets that are expansive. When we say the signs are expansive, it means it's expand. It's not something that you can easily tame it. No, it always wants to expand. So anything that is fire always wants to escalate. That is why there's always a warning sign where maybe the content of that thing is fire. It can easily catch, or it can even easily explode. So it is always, there's always a danger sign telling you don't light a naked fire here, because when you do that, you will trigger the fire in that container to explode, which can cause a great damage. Okay, so we need to be very careful. So the signs and then the planets that are expansive, we'll look at that. And then it is outgoing. Fire is outgoing. It doesn't sit at one place. Anything that is fire always moves. That is why when something catches fire, it moves. Okay, it moves. If, for instance, can you, producer, can you put on the screen that of the fire, that the process of the fire moving? Can you start it for me, please? Start it for me, so that they will understand what I'm trying to say. Now, look at it very carefully. You look at the liquid on the floor. Okay, that deep line. You see how it travels. As soon as he lighted that naked fire from the matchstick and drop it on that liquid over there, okay, that liquid over there, it moves to everywhere it can have access to. That is the expansive that we are talking about. And you see how it is dancing left and right, trying to expand its tentacles. You can see it is stretching its wings to see if it can get any, if there are any other areas where it can reach as well. So we need to be very careful when we are dealing with fire. When we are dealing with the element fire, we need to be extremely careful, because if you are not careful, the damage that it can cause will be very, very serious. You see how it is dancing, moving left and right, moving left and right. It's not just moving left and right, dancing, but it's looking at other places to dominate as well. So let's have that in mind. And so this is a characteristic of fire. Fire is a movement. Fire is a movement. So when you see someone saying fire, it means let's move. Let's move. Let's do something that is very movable. We need not to be sitting at one place. That is fire for you. Thank you very much, producer. And this fire is produced by the sun, okay, or is provided by the sun, okay, to this earth. And humanity, with the heat, light, we need to survive. So as humans, or as nature, we need this light to survive. Some plants without sun cannot survive. And there are some of us humans or mammals, without light, there's no way we can survive for a year or two. Being in darkness for quite longer of time can even damage your eyes. It can even damage your brain, okay, as a result of the kind of darkness that you've been in. So it is very good to be in light for some time and then be in darkness, so that when the darkness comes, that is when the eye can relax. So when we get there, you will understand why there has to be darkness, so that the eye can relax. And when the eye relaxes, the brain relaxes as well. Okay, so when we get there, you will understand all that. And we, as humans or mammals or nature, we all need this to survive. So mammals and plants, we all need this fire to survive. So the fire that, or the heat that is being created by the sun, is what we need to survive. So please bear in mind that if we are talking about fire element, it's something that helps you and I to survive on this planet. So we need to be very mindful when it comes to that, and take note of it. Don't just see fire as something that is dangerous, but something that is moving, that can create, that is very creative. Think about that. Fire is fast moving. As I said earlier on, it's fast moving. Don't sit at one place. You need to be moving about. You see how it is moving about? Yes. It is trying to see if there are other areas it can conquer. But it has conquered all the areas that it has to. That is what fire is trying to tell you. And it's transformative. Like the bird called phoenix. I hope you all know this word phoenix. It was a bird that lived in the Middle East. That is the Arabian desert. And this is what it did. It burned itself on the funeral of prayer, and rising from that ashes with renewed youth to live through another cycle. It had already been living for more than basically, it has already been living for more than 6 centuries. Okay, already living for 6 centuries. But when Paris died, what it did was to burn itself into ash. And when it burned itself into ash, it re-emerged as a youth. It re-emerged as a youth. So, or it rose from the dead through the ash as youth. So fire never dies. Fire never dies. Fire does not die. Okay, that is why if maybe an environment catch fire, or there's a bush fire, there's always precaution that when you are going there, be careful that you don't go and then let the authorities or those who are in charge of that process go there first before you can go there. Don't just rush in there. So if there's fire, you have to call the fire service to come, and then because there may be places that you will see it as ash. It's a ash, but it has fire hidden within it. The ash protects the fire from dying. It protects the fire from dying, so we need to be very careful. And then the 3 signs are Aries. So fire has 3 signs. Okay, fire has 3 signs, and these 3 signs are Aries, Leo, and some call it Aries, some call it Aries. When you pronounce it, you feel comfortable. You can pronounce it that way. So if you pronounce it Aries and you feel comfortable, if you pronounce it Aries and you feel comfortable, you can do that. Now, Leo and Sagittarius are the 3 signs. These 3 signs are the signs of the zodiac that this fire has. Okay, the signs of the zodiac. So these are the things that we are going to be looking at. These signs of the zodiac, how it has. All these 3 are positive, inspirational, enthusiastic, and confident. So when it comes to this Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, they are all positive-minded, inspirational, enthusiastic, and confident. So if someone says that, oh, you are Aries, then you should know that basically what they are talking about is what we are coming to treat today. What they are talking about is what we are coming to treat today, and you need to have that in mind. These 3 derive their energies from the day. Okay, these 3 signs that we are talking about, they derive their energy from the day energy, but all signs have some fire energy contained within. As we are all elements in differing quantities, okay, as we are all elements in differing quantities, so please have that in mind, and it will go a long way to help you. So what we are going to look at is, we are first of all taking the Aries, which starts from the 21st of March to 20th of April. We are looking at that. We are going to look at that, and break it into pieces for you to have the in-depth understanding. When we say someone is Aries, what does it mean? Being an Aries, what does it mean? Okay, what does it mean? What are the things you can do? What are the things you are capable of doing, and things you are not capable of doing as well? Okay, now let's go to the zodiac and see where this Aries starts from. Okay, this Aries starts from. Aries ruled by the warrior god. So the warrior god that rules Aries, okay, is Mars. That is the planet that rules it, and that planet is a warrior. Is referred to as warrior, the warrior god. So Mars, if you are Aries, your planet is Mars. Okay, and in terms of everything, you are warrior. Okay, you want to face to make sure you conquer enough territory as to your advantage. So you need to have that in mind, and it will go a long way to help you. This Mars is the fire sign and the most direct and focused in terms of talking about the planet. Okay, in terms of talking about the planet that rules these Aries, the most important is the Mars, which is the warrior god of the planet. So this planet itself makes sure that whatever that you are doing concerning or pertaining to this 21st of March to 20th of April, the warrior makes sure whatever that he has to do. You see how the fire is fighting on the screen. It tells you how fire can fight. It tells you how fire can fight. So you have to have that in mind so that it goes a long way to help you. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac and is seen by most to be the start of the astrological year. So most people don't recognize 1st January as the beginning of the year, but rather they believe that 21st of March is the beginning of the year. So if you travel to some countries that I wouldn't want to mention names, they start their new year from 21st of March. So as we are in March, they see March as the new year month, the new year month. So everything that they do, they make sure that it's according to the new year. It's according to the new year. They start celebrating the new year from 21st. So have that in mind, and it will go a long way to help you and your family. So if you have a child who is an Aries, then you know the kind of name to give it, because if you give it a name that does not coincide with this month, then you are bringing a whole lot of misunderstanding to your family. As we move further, you'll be able to understand what I'm trying to say. So as Aries is always moving into, okay, Aries is always moving into, so doesn't stay at one place. When someone is Aries, the person tries to find a place to make sure that he or she governs that sector. Okay, he or she governs that sector. So as we go further, you understand why they are seen as leaders. As a result of these qualities that they have in them, they are always moving. So as you are feeling lazy, reluctant, and you are sleeping, they are moving. They can work from morning till morning without relaxing, and you will be sleeping. So they are more seen as leaders. As we move down, you will understand what I mean by that. So now the sun itself is a signal that spring from the northern hemisphere, and Aries is the first sign in the natural horoscope. So if you are talking about the first sign in the natural horoscope is Aries, which is the ruling house, okay, or which is the ruling the first house. So when we talk about the first house, we are talking about the first month that starts, and Aries is the one that rules that, or is the one that draws within this month. So you need to have that in mind. The sign spans the first 33 degrees. So the heatness of Aries is 33 degrees of the zodiac, and the sun transits the sign from the equinox approximately March 21st to April 20th. So during this period, you are made to know that the temperature is 30 degrees, can rise as much as 30 degrees. And if you go to some of these places, that is when they will tell you we are entering into summer, or we are from spring to summer. Okay, so you need to have that in mind. It will go a long way to help you. And then Aries is a day cardinal fire sign. So in terms of the cardinal, I did explain earlier on to you in the previous lecture, so you know what cardinal is. So in terms of its whether it's night or day, if you're talking about Aries, it's day. Okay, it's day cardinal fire sign. So when you see Aries, you should know that it's talking about day natural fire sign. And then Aries represents youth, which is very focused on the self. So anybody that is Aries is always focused on him or herself, what he or she can do. So when you bring someone who is Aries within this territory, they always make sure they work harder for each and everyone to benefit from. Okay, they work harder for each and everyone to benefit from. Now, the symbol of Aries is ram. So the animal that represents this Aries is ram. So if you are looking at the animal that represents the Aries is the ram, and then the ram represents the horns of the ram. Okay, the horns of the rams. That is what Aries is about. So with that horn of a ram, a ram can fight so many opponents, or any danger that is coming to its way, it can get it off. So please have that in mind. Aries dominates keyword is I am. Aries dominates keyword is I am, which means they are all about the self to come first. the self, when we say someone is about self to come first, they will first of all go and make sure they are comfortable and then create or make space for others to also come as well. So that is what, if someone is Aries, that is how, these are some of the characteristics they do. Now, before I move on, if you are in the United Kingdom, if you are in the United Kingdom, if you are in Europe, if you are in America, if you are in Canada, wherever you find yourself abroad and you are not in Africa, please contact the number on your screen, Healing Hands Hearts. Maybe you are going through certain, you are having certain diseases that you don't understand, maybe STDs and other things that you don't understand. When you tell them, they will give you a specific medicine that can fight these STDs, or maybe you are having this arthritis and other things which are disturbing you. There are medicines from Power Life Herbal Center, which is much difficult to post it from Ghana to you wherever you are. But once Healing Hands has it, or they have them at their possession in the United Kingdom, they come and they take as many as they can to the United Kingdom. So whenever you need any of these products, some of these products, when you explain your issues to them, they are able to give you the one that really can solve your issue. Both these products, we have some that does spiritual work as well, and then physical work as well. So you have to know these two differences. That the one that can help you spiritually and the one that can help you physically. For instance, when we talk about the pomade, okay, the body pomade, which is made out of herbs. These herbs that are made has its spiritual implications, okay? It has its spiritual implications. So first of all, you need to understand basically what the herbs are doing. And some of these herbs, like Xylopia ethiopica, is very powerful in terms of the spiritual aspect. And then alligator pepper is also very powerful. You see, ginger is also powerful. These all help to renew, as the ash can cover, to make sure the fire is still burning in there for another fire to escalate. It's the same thing. So when you get in contact, when you are having maybe skin rashes and other things, eczema and other things, allergies, when you get this body pomade, it helps you to get rid of these skin rashes. At the same time, as it's getting rid of the skin rashes, it's getting rid of whatever spiritual issues that you are having as well. It drives demons away from having access to yourself or your inner being. And at the same time, if you are having issues, you can use the spiritual soap as well, the herbal soap, which works for you spiritual and physical. So if you're having spiritual magnetism, which most people call it spiritual marriage, you can request for one from Healing Hands Hearts, and then it will help you. If you're having excessive constipation and you can't ease yourself, it can develop into PAS. Please, you need to contact them, and then they will give you Picoflex, which will help you. If you are having body pains and other things, which you feel reckless, you can't sleep and other things, request for the herbal tea, which can help you boost your immune system for you to be able to eat well and sleep well as well. So do that, and it will go a long way to help you. So you can contact Healing Hands on these numbers. And for those of you who wants to meet me one-on-one for spiritual encounter, please, you can contact the same number on at Healing Hands, and then they will arrange a Zoom meeting between you and myself, so that we'll meet, and then whatever is there, we'll discuss to know the in and out of whatever issue that you are going through. So please have that in mind, and it will go a long way to help you. So you can call Healing Hands on these two numbers, and then whatever issue that you have, or whatever challenges that you are going through, the kind of medicine or herbs that they will give you for you to come out of that spiritual or physical predicament. Or if you want to meet me one-on-one, they can arrange a meeting, then we'll meet. So for those of you who don't speak the Ghanaian language, you can call them as well, and then they will be of help to you as well. So as we were living, we looked at the the dominant key word, which is I am. Excuse me. Which means always they think about themselves first in everything that they do. So let's look at areas that, if you are Aries, you rule. Aries rules the head and then the eyes. So anyone who is Aries, who is born between 21st of March, 20th of April, the places of where you need to be very careful, if you are not careful and you are very anxiety, you are very anxious, you can easily develop migraine. Okay, you can develop severe migraine because the brain, the head itself is being ruled by Aries. Okay, so anxiety can easily arouse severe migraine. Anxiety can easily arouse severe migraine, so you should be careful. Or anxiety can easily arouse severe eye aches. Okay, it can easily arise severe eye aches. And then the color for Aries is red. The color for Aries is red. So if you're Aries, the animal that represents you is ram, and the horns of the ram is the main point. Okay, is the main point because you are a warrior. We look at the weapon that falls within that animal, and that animal, its weapon is its horn. That is the one that's all the fighting. And then its dominant word is I am, meaning it always comes first before others come. That is why it is considered as the first month in the astrological calendar, and its color is red as well. So, and then it has a birthstone. Each and every of these, we all of this element have a birthstone. So if you are an Aries, your birthstone is diamond. If you are an Aries, your birthstone is diamond. So please have that in mind. Have that in mind, and then it will go a long way to help you. And then your metal is iron. Your metal is iron. So if you are an Aries and then you want to know what your metal is, you should bear in mind that it's iron. If someone asks you, oh, what is your date of birth, and then you tell the person, and he or she tells you, oh, your stone is diamond, so use more diamond in terms of whatever you are doing, and then use more metal, do more metal works and other things, then it means the person, in terms of the signs of the zodiac, knows what he or she is saying. And that is what I'm teaching you now. That is why when you go to places, they are able to tell you, this work will not help you, this work will help you. As a result of them understanding these astrological studies, gives them that power, and I'm giving it to you free of charge. So if you take your time and absorb these lectures that I'm giving it to you free of charge, it will do you very good. Aries likable distinguishing qualities are being dynamic, pioneering, and seen as leader by others. So everywhere they go, they are very dynamic, they are very pioneering, and they are seen as leaders. So anywhere Aries, you find someone between that month of 21st of March to 20th of April, such people are always leaders. So if you are a man and then you are going to marry, and then the lady falls within this calendar, and you are quite this, then you should know that you are going to marry a leader. So she will control every affairs of the marriage. And if you are a man too, and then you are not careful, and then you go for such, you should know that you are going for someone who is coming to control. But if you understand yourself very well, and you know that this is how they are, you will be able to live for a peaceful marriage. Other than that, there's going to be ups and downs in the marriage. Inwardly, they have a healthy self-interest and are very courageous. In terms of whatever they do, they are very courageous. They don't fear anything. So someone who is Aries is very courageous. Look at the warrior, the Lord of War. Okay, Mars. Look how it can fight for a whole year without resting, without eating. All it wants to eat is fight to gain more possession. The more expansion it does, that is how it gains its energy. So someone who is Aries always wants to make sure they are able to expand their tentacles. That is why when you see certain flammable tanks, they will give you the sign of the flame over there, meaning that don't light a naked don't bring a naked fire close to it. Other than that, the whole place is going to escalate into fire. So you need to first of all understand some of these signs. Okay, you need to understand some of these signs, and then it will go a long way to help you. And then as we are wrapping off, let's look at some of the things, some of the signs whereby people see it and they think they are very negative about them. They may be seen as aggressive. Okay, people at times can see them due to their expansion or the way they expand quickly, they move quickly. Once you set them off, people see them as very aggressive, and at times it can be very irritating. Okay, and then they may see them as as rationally in their directions. Okay, as rationally in their directions, it's not tempered. So the aggressiveness that you see in them, if you don't temper, if you don't go according to how they do their things, you might think they are irrational. You might think they are irrational. But if you go according to how they do their things, you understand them very, very well. So if you have a child, or if you have a husband or a wife who falls within this period, and maybe at times some of the things they do, you feel they are, it's a bit awkward, please, you need to understand that they love to move, they love to make friends easily. Try to make sure everywhere they go, they are able to expand their tentacles for people to know that they are around. Why? Because they are the first of the month. Okay, they are the first of the year. So most people, some countries, they are not yet over with 2020. They are still in 2020. On 21st of March, and then that is when they will enter 2021. So you have to have that in mind. You have to have that in mind, and then it will go a long way to help you. Others see Aries as impatient, fast-moving, and daring. So these are some of the negative things that people talk about them. Oh, someone who is Aries is very impatient. They are very fast in whatever that they are doing. They think they can outsmart you and do other things, and daring them can be very, very dangerous. So basically, we are the series of fire, as we are talking about these signs that comes with the fire, okay, as a result of the sun. As we are discussing today, we are starting with Aries. Tomorrow, on Monday, okay, on Monday, God willing, we'll go to Leo. Tuesday, we'll go to the Sagittarius and then understand all this and how they operate, so that by the time we finish with fire, you will know that fire, when we talk about fire, in terms of Aries, as I've given you the lectures today, when you play it over and over, you understand how it operates. So if you have a child or you have someone who falls within this line, you'll be able to understand the person very, very well in terms of whatever they do, so that you don't misunderstand them. So have that in mind. It will go a long way to help you. So to God willing, Monday we look at Leo, and then Tuesday we look at the Sagittarius. So when we finish with all this, then we are done with the fire. Then we go to how do you call it? We go to water. And then we understand water. What water also does, the kind of where it starts from and where it falls within the calendar. We will know all. So God willing, once we are done with this series of fire, we'll move to water. But I need to take my time because we are not rushing. This is a school where we are learning, so everything has to be taken step by step for you to have in-depth understanding of whatever I'm giving you. So if you want to meet me one-on-one, please, you can call the number on your screen. Producer, you can display it for them, so that if you are in Ghana, you can just meet me one-on-one. Call the front desk, the click front desk number. Most of you are always requesting that, how can we meet you? You can meet me by calling the front desk number on the screen, the click front desk number. When you call that number, you'll be able to reach me for us to discuss whatever that it is for that you want to discuss with me. If you want us to look things spiritually, we'll do that as well. So until Monday, have a lovely weekend, and then Monday we are looking at Leo. So if you people are saying you are Leo, God willing, Monday we understand what it means to be Leo. God willing, Monday we'll meet. Have a blessed weekend. Bye bye.